Are we here? Okay, tell us if you can see us in the comments.
There should be two Jennifers, not just one.
Yes, there's two Jennifers here. Is anybody, let's see, can you see us? This is my first time going live on my YouTube channel. So that's why I'm making sure that people can see us, because I don't know if I did it right. We think we did. There they are. Okay, Kathy.
In the
Oh, good.
comments, you've got the yeses, see, and hear.
Hello and welcome, everyone. It's Jen and Jen. It's the two Jens. I'm Jennifer McGuire, and I live on this channel. You've seen me here many times. And I finally got up the courage to go live, and probably because I knew that chatting with Jen here would be the easiest thing in the world to do. We could chat for hours. So let me introduce you to Jen. Can you tell us about yourself, Jen?
Hi, my name is Jen Rzasa, and you may know me from Altenew. So I'm one of the co-founders of Altenew, and I do lives and I do workshops. And I'm so excited because being on Jennifer's first YouTube live, I think is a huge deal because, like many of you probably do, I stalk her channel all the time. So it's really an honor to be here.
And Jen and I have known each other for a long time. I remember when I got an email from you and Tasneem that you guys were starting Altenew. Mm-hmm. And how many years ago was that?
So this was back in 2014. So in April, we're approaching our 9th anniversary.
And what's funny is you both asked, would you be willing to try out some of the products when they're available? And I said, it was one of the only times I said yes without seeing products first, because I knew that you both were great artists. And so I didn't have any doubt that I would love it. And I was right. And
thank you.
Now I've used it quite a bit since.
Mm-hmm. We've been on a journey since then. So it's great that you're still with us and supporting us along the way. We love that.
Well, you guys have grown quite a bit. And lately you and I have been working together a bit more again, because we're working on the Secret Garden virtual retreat, which is in May. Do you want to tell everybody a little bit about that? And then we'll get chatting on some other things.
I'd love to. So we are doing a really fun all-day retreat on May 13th this year. So we're excited about it because we have a really strong theme, and also because this is the first time that we have a retreat workshop with an exclusive kit. So in the past, our other workshops have had a kit that has been exclusive for a certain period of time, and then it got released out to the public. And this one is just for the participants of the workshop. So we have some amazing instructors. Obviously, Jennifer is someone you all know. You're all here, so you know her. So she'll be one of the instructors.
But I'm brave and doing 2 classes.
She is.
2 classes in it.
And we have Carissa Wiley and Laura Basson, as well as JC Gaspar and Bridget Casey. So phenomenal, inspirational talents. And I know that I am going to be excited to be there as a participant, in addition to hosting on the Altenew side, but it's going to be really amazing. And we have a lot of exclusive perks. Of course, you get a discount on all of the materials. So the value of what you get is really great. And we have some live portions for participants of the class. It's just going to be a really fun all-day event.
But even if they're not available that day, you can go back and watch it anytime, right?
Of course, everyone will have the access to those videos. So if you miss out, but to get the full, I guess, the full experience of being with your crafting peers, I think it is fun if you can set aside that particular day to be there live. Because I know I like to chat with the other participants, and I like to see what other people from the class are creating. And it's just a lot of fun either way. If you can't do it, or if you're in a different time zone and you're maybe sleeping at that time, or if you're at work, don't worry about it. You can definitely check out all the content.
Sure. Yeah. I like these kind of virtual classes, because in the comments, you see people becoming friends in the community building, and you see a lot of the same faces and the same names. And it's a great way to find some other crafters to connect with. Mm-hmm. And is it one day?
So May 13th? May 13th. Yeah. It's from 9 a.m. Eastern time to 9 p.m. So like I said, depending on where you live, depending on your time zone, some of the day's events might be better for your schedule, and then you can join those in live. Or, if you're ready to do the whole day with us, we're here for it.
I'll be there the whole time because I need to learn a few things from JC. Let's just say that he's one of my all-time favorite crafters. So I have a link to that retreat below in the YouTube description. And can you paste that in the comments? The link that's there. And then there is a code in my description too to save some money too. So you can check that below. But so we've been working on this, and I was really excited because a couple of the things in it were inspired by something I had showed you guys, saying I hoped you could come up with something similar, and that I saw while on vacation, non-crafting, and you guys came up with something great, and it's really, it's fun to see. And we're going to move on to some other questions, but if you do want to know more about this retreat and specific, more details, I did a live with Bridget, who's one of the teachers in the event, over in the Altenew channel a week or so ago, and it is in the description below too. So there's more information, and we give some hints on what's included in the kit in that too. So anyway, so that's why Jen and I have been working together again. It's been hard because we haven't seen each other because of the pandemic. We haven't gone to shows. That's usually where we get to see each other.
I look forward to my hugs, my yearly hugs with Jennifer, and sometimes twice a year, depending if you come out to see us in Syracuse or different events that we've been to. So it's been a very long time since I've seen you.
Hopefully April.
Yes, right? I'll be there.
April. Oh, good. Well, first of all, I do want to say about Jen, one of my favorite things about Jen is that this isn't her only life. She also has another career, and somehow she balances them both. I need to take some tips from her, but tell everybody what else you do besides crafting.
So I'm also an elementary music teacher. So I teach kindergarten up to 5th grade. I teach general music, chorus, and orchestra. So like today I went to school all day, and then I come home, put on some makeup because I don't wear makeup to school. I don't have that much energy in the morning to do that. But I came home, slapped on some makeup, and here I am.
Lila has seen Jen's hair and wishes that her teachers had pink hair too, but
Lila's so cute. I can't believe how old she is.
I know.
A lot of us who have followed you for a while, in addition to seeing you all these years, we've seen your kids grow up.
Yeah, Colin's looking at colleges.
Wow. I can't believe that.
It's not okay with me. It's not okay with me. So we have some fun questions here, and I thought it might be the folks at Altenew came up with these questions because I'm not good at this kind of thing. And I thought it'd be fun if we both answered some of them.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Would that work? What do you want to, well, how about you? I've talked about how I got into crafting. How did you get into crafting? How long ago? And how did it evolve into starting Altenew?
So I actually got into crafting mostly after college. So I graduated from Boston University in 2005, and I got married fairly young. So I got married at 22. So that was in 2006. And in that time, I was trying to think, how can I make my wedding customized? We didn't have a big budget. We had a lot of college debt, both my husband and I. And it was just like, how can we do things cheaply, but in a special way? So we were trying to come up with ways that we can make it ours with little touches. So I ended up carving a stamp with our initials in it and our wedding date. Do you know like those pink, like rubbery things that you get at the craft store? I'm sure there's a name for it. And then you get the little tools with the little V.
I never tried it. I never tried it. I'm not an illustrator, so I figured it wouldn't look good in the end. So you did it.
I just did that. Yeah. And I was like, there was no tutorials, but I think I maybe got like a book out of the library. It was a different time, not pre-internet, but it wasn't so much information on the internet like we have now. So I figured out how to do it. And then I had to go back to the craft store and realize I needed some ink. I found embossing powder and I found embossing ink, and
that's it.
That just seemed amazing to me. So I got some black cardstock, and then I realized you need a heat gun. I didn't have a heat gun. So the next thing I had to do was like, how am I going to do this? So thankfully the internet did have some information there. And someone said, if you put it over a light bulb, the heat from the light bulb will melt the embossing powder.
Did you do that on all your invitations?
I did that it was on the place cards for,
Oh.
I ended up stamping all the place cards. There was about 140 guests at our wedding. And every single one I held over a light bulb, and my eyes were like seeing sparkles for hours after that.
So you have since invested in a heat gun, right?
Yes, I have. I realized it
gosh.
was a worthy investment.
But embossing, heat embossing is definitely like a gateway to
Yes,
crafting for
it
many
was
people.
magic.
So how did you and Tasneem get into starting Altenew?
Do you remember the Runway Inspired Challenge?
Yes.
So that was a challenge blog that I hosted because I love fashion, even though I don't own one designer piece, nor could I ever really afford a designer piece just to like go to school in. But
it's fun to look at.
It's fun to look at. So there was a challenge blog that I started that was inspired by clothing from the runway. And Tasneem had ended up on my design team. I had a design team call, and she hooked up with me that way. I was instantly impressed with what she did. And after only knowing each other online for a short period of time, she and I were having conversations about what we wanted to see in the stamping market that maybe wasn't there. And we're like, should we just like maybe design our own? It was just like a really innocent like thought, right? That just blossomed out into this entire company. And one funny fact that most people don't realize is Tasneem and I never met in person until after the launch of Altenew.
No way.
So we did everything on the phone, video calls back and forth. And we launched the company, and then we finally were able to hook up and meet in person.
Well, it shows you that how you can build great crafty relationships online. So how did you come up with the name Altenew?
So Altenew is a combination of two words. We have alt, which means old in German, and new, which means new, obviously, anything fresh and new, because we wanted to have the company bridge the gap between more traditional aesthetics, but then also looking ahead to the future and how can we set trends, not even just following the trends. How can we try to be the next thing that people haven't seen yet? But we always wanted to have our roots in different cultures and different designs that have really stood the test of time. So like, how could you be timeless and trendy at the same time? So that's how we came up with the name Altenew. And we also liked that it was a made up, invented name, because then we knew that it would give people an instant view of what we are, right? Like if you hear the word Altenew, you're like, what is that? Or if someone searches Altenew, we're the only thing that pops up. It's not like other companies have the same name. So we wanted to make sure that it was something that people could remember.
Good job. I like the name. I've liked it from the beginning. So I had asked her, hi, Simon. She told us how she got started with crafting. Somebody said they had not heard my story. I'll just say it really quick. It's not very exciting. When I was an engineer, a mechanical engineer, and not loving it. Was not my cup of tea. That was my full-time job. And my husband, who I wasn't dating at the time, he said, you need a hobby, because I lived and breathed my job. Mm-hmm. And so I decided to volunteer at my church, senior high youth group, helped lead the group. And we went on a little mission trip, and we came back, and I put together a scrapbook of the trip. And I ended up kind of being bit by the scrapbook bug and applied for a magazine like contest. Kathy Zilski won the same time I won. We were on the same winning team. And I was a scrapbooker for many years, and I quit my job soon after to do scrapbooking full time. Then I met Hero Arts, and I became a card maker, and I haven't turned back. So
and we're
that's
happy
how
to
I
have
started.
You. I'm sure the engineering world is sad you're not with them anymore, but
no, I was happy to go. So Aaron is the one we have to thank for card making, Aaron of Hero Arts. So, but that was
we have
long
lots
before
to thank
Altenew.
him for anyway, but we'll just add that to the list of things that he's done for our community.
He paved the way for a lot of companies, which I think is a good thing. And you guys are friends with Aaron. Yeah. So, all right. Did you have a question on there you wanted to ask?
I do, but it's so big. I hope you can focus yourself for this, because I know it's going to be tough for me to answer this, but Where do you find inspiration?
Oh, mine is always the products. It's the products that you all designed. The other day, I was on a phone call with Tasneem and May Park, who also works with Altenew, and they were showing me some products coming out. And when I see those products, that's what kickstarts my creativity. So, for example, there was one big die that I really like that's coming out in March. As soon as she showed it to me, I started thinking of the many ways I could use it. And I try to think of like 5 ways to use a product. So my inspiration comes from looking at the product and then figuring out different ways to use it creatively. Because I feel like if somebody gets a product, say that big die that I saw, and they can go to Altenew's website, right, and put in that product name, and there'll be so many lovely examples, so many different ways to use it. And I think that's really important. I try to do that in my videos too, show many ways to use it, because if you're going to invest in something, you want to make sure you have many ways to use them. So for me, it's the stuff that you all design. I have no desire to design product. People ask me if I'll ever come out with stamps, and the answer is a big fat no way, because amazing artists like you all come up with things that I enjoy using and that inspire me, and that's what keeps me going. If I was to try to design my own product and then use it, I wouldn't get that kick of inspiration. So that's where my inspiration comes from, 100% the products that you all design. And that's why I'm always so big on people supporting the small businesses like you who come up with these original designs, because if you guys aren't coming up with these designs, we have no inspiration. So that's one of the reasons I'm really big on supporting these small businesses. So you guys give me the inspiration.
So that wasn't a very challenging one to answer at all then, was it?
No, because that is straight up, that's my answer every time. So what about you?
I watch Jennifer McGuire videos. Come on. No, but
my videos are only good for putting people to sleep. That's it. My brother agrees.
I have. And I think I've told this before. My husband used to like to go to sleep to Yana's videos.
Oh, her and Debbie Hughes, I could listen to them all day long.
Oh, I know. It's so nice. But yeah, I love watching videos. I also love watching the shorts on Instagram, like the reels, the shorter videos, because I feel like I can consume so much in a shorter period of time. So, I love that you create long videos that like maybe 30 minutes. At first you used to apologize. I'm glad you don't apologize anymore.
I still do sometimes.
Sometimes you're like, I'm sorry.
And people get mad at me. Yeah.
No one should get mad at you. I love your long videos, but I know that I have to set aside time to watch them.
Sure.
So if I want to, like, let's say I have 5 minutes before I make dinner. If I want to watch something, maybe I'll go on Instagram and I'll watch some of those reels. Sure. And then after dinner, I'll watch my JM video, which is you. And I have watched your videos in the shower, which you know.
You've told me that. I was wondering if you're going to mention that. Now, how do you manage that? How do you manage that? How do you do that?
Okay, so first of all, the reason why I have to do those things is we talked about before. I have a double life here, right? Yes. And I need to get my inspiration somehow, and I don't always have time. But, in the shower, okay, now I have some time to myself. And I have a shower curtain that has these little pockets in it. It's designed to hold your tablet, your phone. It's got different size pockets everywhere, and you can touch through the pocket. So they're not open to the inside. So it's the lining of the shower curtain. Yes, it's a shower curtain lining.
So this shower curtain is the key to balancing everything in life, right?
It is.
That's what you're saying.
Just don't put it on live stream or something by accident.
It could draw some extra views, I guess.
Yeah, but you gotta multitask, I'm telling you.
Yeah. Well, I do apologize still for videos, because I know everybody's time is tight, and but I also try to remember that I do many cards in one video, so people could watch it in chunks. But I did get one person years ago who emailed me and said, just so you know, every time you put up a video, if it's longer than 10 minutes, I'm automatically going to give you a thumbs down. Thank you. And I forget what her name was.
Harsh.
So that always is in the back of my mind. And I wanted to say, like, okay, well, you know, I
all right, I just came up with a phrase because the first thing I thought in my head was "Don't cater to the haters." I don't know if anyone's ever said that before, but
I've never heard that.
I'm putting my stamp on that. Don't cater to the haters. Because why? I know it's hard, right? And from our standpoint in Altenew, there's always going to be someone who doesn't like a design or doesn't like a sentiment, and it's hard because it does hurt because you put so much time into it. And I know you put a lot of time into not only creating your content, but then doing the voiceover and then getting to make sure everything looks right for the thumbnails and all the pieces of it that go together, and then to hear something negative after you put that work in. I know it's hard.
Oh yeah. I envision it as like if you go to a department store and there's all these different mannequins with different outfits, right? Mm-hmm. And you might see an outfit and be like, I would never wear that. You would never stand there and point at it and yell for everybody to see. Mm-mm. And that's what, you know, I think that was actually a comment, not an email. So it was for everybody to see. And I was like, well, okay, I'm not for you. I get that. But you know, when you put your heart and soul into something, it's hard to, anyway. So that's why I usually apologize in videos. I try not to do it anymore. Cause I've gotten a lot of people saying, don't apologize for that. So it is what it is.
You made hour-long videos. We'd watch them.
Oh,
like,
don't give me any ideas.
I'm not asking you to make an hour-long video, but I'm just saying we would watch it.
Don't give me an idea, because you know it could happen. All right, I gotta ask you. Everybody, first of all, people are saying that my shirt looks like an Altenew stamp.
It does,
doesn't it?
It does. Yeah, and I'm wearing it sadly like an Altenew. I've got a rainbow. I'm representing some rainbow colors, but
there we go.
I usually wear florals on my live or my favorite Altenew sweatshirt, but
I wore my favorite Altenew sweatshirt on the live we did on your channel, and people kept asking where they could buy it. So I decided to not wear it today. Also, I think I still have a fever from being sick, so short sleeves was necessary.
Yeah,
but that's okay. Let's see. I wanted, okay. What is your crafty mantra or your motto? Like what do you think of, like when you sit down to craft, or you tell somebody you're trying to encourage somebody about crafting? What do you like? What advice do you give, or what do you think about?
That's tough because sometimes I honestly don't have a thought, and I'm just stamping for the fun of it without any direction.
It's an escape, right?
Goal, right? I'm just playing with the products, because also since crafting is part of my job, a lot of it is testing products that we've designed and making sure that they, you know, they're living up to the standards, or that the stencils match the stamp in the right way, things like that. I'm not always thinking in a creative sense. I'm more thinking functionally, and then the creativity happens in the process. So I don't have that goal first. I'm just creating because I need to as part of my job, and then it turns into something. Also, that makes sense. You know, the girls on the team, we've been trying to make extra effort to craft for ourselves, not attached to work crafting. So we get together every couple of weeks and we have a video call and we just chat and craft. And there, when it's that type of thing, I'm usually more into trying some new techniques. If there was something that maybe I saw online, I was like, oh, I really want to try that. Or like, you know, if we got new glitter papers, and I'm inspired by the product, like you say, you are. I love using layering dies and glitter papers. That just like gets my heart going every single time. And if I'm ever in a rut or I don't know what to design, if I grab the glitter paper and some like Craft-A-Flower dies, I know I'm going.
Oh, so you do the layer of glitter paper. I haven't done that.
It is so good.
So you all have like the packs of glitter paper of like color families too.
Yes.
Okay.
Like behind me, let's see.
Okay, I see something that I need to do now. See, so you could use those different shades of blue on a layered flower. I haven't done this yet.
Oh, it's
Guess what I'm
fun.
going to do?
It's so much fun.
Because
But
I'm
as
all
far
about
as
the
like,
layering dies.
what was that?
I'm all about the layering dies.
Mhm.
By far my favorite thing to use.
Mine too.
So
My favorite always changes, but the layering dies have consistently been
yeah,
near the top of the list just because I feel like it's more instant gratification than
yeah,
some other things that we do in crafting. I feel like they always look impressive, even if you're a beginner and even if you've never used it before. There's no
right.
like hurdle to get over. You don't have to like practice first before it looks good. It just kind of looks good on its
Yeah,
own.
especially your layering flowers that have like a little key, the dies have a little keyhole in it and a number. So if you line up the die cuts with the keyhole, you know they line up right. And so it's
Yep,
easy to layer.
it does.
That's
Yeah.
so it's an escape. You're just enjoying putting it
Yeah.
together. And that's what I love.
Like I don't really have a mantra, but do you? Is there something that you have in mind?
No, if well, it depends on different aspects. Like my big thing that I would tell people watching my videos is that we all make mistakes and it takes all of us a lot of practice and patience. It's just that we edit that out of videos because our videos would be really long. You know, if we kept every
Like, and there was a
mistake, every
mistake. Let me
practice.
throw this in the
Yes,
scrap pile.
right. So just know that what you're seeing is an edited creativity. You didn't see the tossing it around in our head for a while beforehand, the different attempts. And that's just to make better use of everybody's time. My mantra overall with card making is to send the cards, to give those cards out. And personally, I like to give them to people I don't know very well, like people I notice who watch my videos, or I see somebody does nice on Instagram, I'll message them and say, "Can I send you a card?" So it's usually not like tomorrow is my husband's birthday and he will not be getting a card. I don't give cards to family members. My brother, he's shaking his head no. It's my job, right? But I love to give them to people who don't expect it. Does that make sense? So
Yeah,
like,
and that's just like fun, like random act of kindness type thing.
yes.
They get a little surprise in the mail,
Yep.
which everyone loves getting. So,
And if that makes one person's day better,
mhm.
worth it. So for me, my mantra, the thing I always try to remember is that this card is going to go to someone. And so I always focus on that. And that also helps me to not get wrapped up in things sometimes. I overthink what I'm showing in a video, but as far as what I'm making on the card, I know that nobody's going to be like, "Oh, that sentiment isn't perfectly straight." You know, like if I gave you a card, you wouldn't say, "Your sentiment isn't straight,"
No.
or "Why did you pick this color?" Or you wouldn't, if you did, you know.
It probably wouldn't even be noticed, right? First of all, because
Exactly.
we're not picking apart a card someone gives
Right.
us as much as we pick
Right.
apart our own. And then if it
Yep.
was noticed, no one's going to care. And if they cared, they wouldn't say anything. Like, I don't think anyone's putting that through their head. They're just feeling the warm, fuzzy feeling of getting a card.
Yes. Yep. They're not going to they're happy that they got the card.
Yeah.
They're still smiling. So somebody said that they felt reassured seeing that I changed my clothes in videos. Yeah. So one person asked me once, "Why do you change your clothes throughout a video?" It's because it takes me several days.
Multiple days.
So yes, like sometimes my nail polish changes, sometimes my clothes change, but that's because it takes a long time. So I think that's my mantra for people watching videos is remember, you're seeing edited of everything.
Do you film everything you create? Like, how often do you stamp not on camera?
I don't stamp much off camera, but I do die cut and make cards with layered die cuts off camera a lot. That's like my hobby part of it. And I think I've been in meetings with you. I know I have with Tasneem and May, where we'll be chatting and I'm gluing together die cuts during it. And it's usually your zero waste flower background die, but I like to glue those together and then turn them into cards when I have a chance to sit down. So that I do for myself. I don't do like big techniques and stuff for myself much because I'm doing that all day long with my work. This is full time. So, if I'm going to have some free time to craft, I'm going to go do it upstairs by the family. And assembling die cuts or die cutting is easy to do up there. So
I love it.
yeah, well, I'm not very good at balancing time. I have one job and I'm falling apart, so I don't know how you do it, but I've been trying to make more time to do enjoyable things like that. But I think everybody's trying to figure that balance out,
now,
right?
I know Lila crafts with you. Does anyone else in the family?
Well, when Colin was little, he did. And I have two older girls who have moved out. They're older. One's 25, one's 27. The 27-year-old, when she was like 13 and 14, she would teach card classes with me at a local craft store. And she would teach a kids class and it would fill. I mean, she would get like 30 kids in a class, and she would teach. It was back when I was with Hero Arts. And so she would teach with Hero Arts stuff, and she was so good at it. And now she does costume design for a theater up in Seattle. So she's in the creative world, but yeah, she's the most crafty like of all of us. But Lila, I don't know. Lila, are we going to be able to talk you into being a card maker for a career? She's into making slime right now.
Oh, okay. Most elementary students are.
Yeah. Well, she's pretty serious about it. She has a YouTube channel. She's going to be selling slime on Etsy. Like she does like deluxe slime.
Wow. Okay. That's pretty cool. Like, what makes it deluxe? Is it like whatever you mix into it?
The stuff she puts in it. She puts all this stuff in it and puts different scents in it. She does some fancy slime.
Wow. That's incredible. She's following your footsteps in the slime world.
She also really likes layering stencils. If you put a layering stencil set in front of her, she's a happy camper. So that's her thing with crafting. So
that's great.
That works for her. All right. So did you have any other questions on that list that you wanted to ask?
I do. So I just want to see, this one I thought was a really interesting one that our team prepared. But if you did not become a crafter, what do you think you'd be doing?
Oh,
it's hard, right?
I might unfortunately still be an engineer.
Really?
The only reason I left is because I found crafting. I mean, I think I would have left because I was unhappy. It wasn't right for me. And I had a lot of guilt having a great job and not loving what I was doing. I don't know. I don't know. I always wanted to be a teacher, but now that I'm older and I see what teachers have to go through, I couldn't have cut it. I wouldn't have been able. I mean, they have to go through so much. So I'm not sure. I probably would have ended up starting some sort of creative business because I've always been the one who's taken a hobby and turned it into a job. When I made friendship bracelets when I was little, I would sell them at a local store, so I could see, I would find something.
So no matter what, this was the path you were on.
I guess so. I guess so. I don't
You're
know.
A woman who knows who you are. You found your passion, and no matter what, this is the realm.
Yeah. Yeah. I only went into engineering because I was really good I loved math. I loved math. So everybody tells you, if you love math, go into engineering. And I never felt right, but I stuck with it because I got a cool job when I was in college. And I thought, oh, I'll just stick with it. And I don't know. Somebody said I am a teacher, but I'm not the superhero kind of teacher who is working with little kids or even high school. I bow to those.
But you have so many students. You have hundreds of thousands of students online.
Yeah. But I don't have to. Yeah. Really big difference though. Huge difference. So I don't know. I don't know. What hobbies do you have? Because I know what the answer is, and I think everybody would find it really cool. What hobbies do you have outside of your jobs?
So I love sewing, and I love creating outfits. I just made a Valentine's Day outfit that
With the
almost
heart.
didn't make it with the heart. Yeah, it almost didn't make it in time for Valentine's Day because I had to finish all my other work before I could sew, and it was like 10:30, and I'm hemming it. I'm like, just get this through the machine so I can wear it to school tomorrow. And thankfully, I finished it. I love making costumes. I don't know if I should show this, but I will. If you look up, there's like wigs and hats.
Look at that. So you love all the different characters and creating outfits, right?
Yeah, so I've done cosplay for many years. If you know what that is, it's usually
Yep.
connected to this like different pop culture or video games or comic book characters or anime characters. So I like recreating their costumes.
That's
fun.
so cool. Well, I've loved seeing it over the years, and it's good. It's neat to see other forms of creativity that you have in your life. So does anybody have any questions out there? If you have any questions, put question real big before it so we can try to see it. Because we're going to wrap up soon because
you need to go back, take a nap.
I might have to. One of the questions, this one always makes me laugh. One of the questions that your team came up with is, how do you manage family life with crafting as a job? Do you have any pointers for us to help you maintain a balance?
You don't have pointers?
Lila's shaking her head no. No, I have no pointers. No. Here's the thing. I don't think anybody has it figured out. I don't think anybody does. And if you see somebody on Instagram who looks like they have it all balanced and figured out, it's just the highlight reel you're seeing. Nobody's got it figured out. Everybody doubts and questions and struggles and does their best. So I don't manage everything well.
And I know that this is the second time you've mentioned that. And I think it's important to note, especially for younger people who are on social media, for them to understand
Yes.
that they're seeing the curated version of things.
Yes.
That they're missing all of the less glamorous parts of like crafting or whatever it is that they're following, whatever facet of the internet it excites them. They're not seeing the full picture for these people. So I'm glad that you brought that up.
It's true, because if we showed all the negative, people don't want to see that either. That gets to be a downer. So I have no advice. My husband recently retired, and we thought that would help. And no, we're still struggling. But I figure if you're struggling in life, then you means you got a lot of good things happening, right? Yeah. So I think Kathy asked, can you scroll up? So I think she asked, who does most of the designing for Altenew? So who designs most of the stamps?
Tasneem and but we actually still design the most between the two of us, but we do have 3 other designers. Oh my gosh, look at the question popping up.
Look how cool we are. That was my brother.
Wow, this is a
not so crafty
operation here. Wow. Okay. Yeah, so in the beginning, Tasneem and I split the duties pretty much 50-50. We were the only ones designing, but then as we were growing, not just the company size, but also our featured products line. So it wasn't just stamps and dies, but then now we have embossing folders, we have layering stencils, simple coloring stencils, hot foil plates. There's so much more. So there are 3 other girls who do design for us, but Tasneem and I still, I would say, design the bulk of it, especially the subscription products. She and I design most of those as well. So
it's good fun to know. I assumed you both did it all. See, I don't know. And then somebody asked, what cool things does Altenew have in the pipeline? Anything coming up?
Okay, so our probably most well-known thing that's coming up next month in March is the stamp wheel. And the stamp wheel is a stamping tool that we've been developing behind the scenes for a very, very long time. It feels like forever to me, right? Just because we've been with it every step of the way, including getting a patent granted. Like there was a lot happening behind the scenes. Yep. And we're happy that next month, I wish I had the date off the top of my head, but I'm not great with dates and I don't want to say the wrong thing, but definitely keep your eye out and we will keep you guys posted on when that's going to be available to purchase. But
It's in the next couple months.
Yeah, it's gonna be really fun.
Soon.
I think, yeah. But
Very
then in
exciting.
addition, we've got other products. I don't want to say too much because it's fun to keep you guys anticipating, but we have some new coloring mediums coming out to add to our collection, and just always new stamp dyes, all the aforementioned categories that we love. So
Yep. Some people were asking, are there any sneak peeks for the retreat, for the Secret Garden retreat?
I didn't prepare any sneak peeks.
No. Can I tell? Well, I'll tell the secret that I figured out. I think it's a secret. I think I'm right. If you look at the logo for the class on the class page, which is in the description below, there's like some flowers in the corner. And I think those flowers are part of it.
I'm not going to say anything, but I like.
I don't think I'm giving a secret because I'm just taking a big old guess here.
That's true. Yes. And then also we have secrets beyond the class kit. So when you get your class kit, there's going to be some other fun things in there beyond what we have listed in the product description. So, yeah.
And I talked about this in that other live that I did over on your channel, on the Altenew channel. But what's neat about this class and the product that you get with it is there's a good variety in it. So like there are some products in it you can make like a really cool geometric kind of masculine kind of card, or you can make something that's very soft and florally, or mix them. So I like that there's a lot of different looks that can come from it. Those are the only secrets that I can share.
Yeah, I don't want to give away too much just because it's still quite a few months away.
Yep.
We need to build up to it, right? So we'll be doing more sneak peeks of things as we get closer to the class. But I would say at this point, if you're interested, the best thing you can do is take advantage of Jennifer's discount code, because that will save you some money on it. So if you want to take it, and she has that in the comment box, right?
Yeah, it's in the description below. And if you go to that page, I think it tells you, it lists a bulk of what you get physically from the class, right? The actual products that you get. The
product list with the names. So you're not seeing the products, but you see the product names. So you know, like, oh, I'm getting an embossing folder that goes with this stencil set. So you could see the names of the products. So you'll know what coordinates with what.
Yep. And somebody asked, is it one class? Yeah, it's just like it's a one retreat, and you get classes from me and then from several incredible other teachers. So you'll get a good variety.
I don't know how we got this lineup, by the way, like, because we always have great teachers. We always have great guests on our blog hop. We have a great design team. But when we were putting together this list of instructors, we're like, all right, let's reach for the stars. Like, who we really want to be in it. Everyone's like, yeah, I'll do it. It's like, this is coming together perfectly. So we're really excited about the teacher lineup.
It's a good mix too of different styles and, simple to, over the top. It seems like you've got it all. So some people are asking, what is the stamp wheel that you were talking about? That is a new tool that Altenew has coming out in the next couple months, and it's for stamping.
I don't want to show too much because we have videos on our channel that are going to be coming out with this, but here's the stamp wheel itself. And if you've watched our lives, we've been using it for a couple months, and we did showcase it at some trade shows. So you may have seen it around, but it has a rotational plate. So you can do wreath stamping, you could do layered stamping. The sticky mat you can use with stencils, so it'll hold your stencil in place. You can use the base to do mirror stamping. I remember when mirror stamping, like, first I was like, wow, you could make the reflected mirror.
Yeah.
That's so cool. And then no one could find like a solid stamp base large enough to do their mirror stamping. So you can use the stamp wheel for mirror stamping and other things.
I'm excited for it as a different size to use just for stamp positioning, for basic stamping, and also for the products that you'll have to go with it.
Yes.
Like, I know you have some products to go with it. And then also for the mirror stamping. Those are things that excite me about it. So somebody asked, is this an online retreat we're talking about? Yes, it's
Yes.
all virtual. So you can watch it live with us, or you can watch it later on. So,
But please let us know and email us at Altenew if you're interested in in-person retreats, because that is something that we've been hoping to do. And, you know, to plan it, there's a lot of thought that goes into it, including knowing how many like spots we would potentially sell that would change where we have it. Would we invite people to come to the warehouse for the warehouse tour? There's a lot of options there.
it's cool.
It's cool. So if there's
It is
anything
cool.
that you would want, or if you'd be interested in coming out to an in-person event, please let us know.
And somebody asked, will the products from this virtual event be available afterwards? No, they will not. They're only available in that if you join the retreat.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So I think that's it, because we're at 4:45 and I'm going to go take some more Tylenol.
You are such a trooper for doing this when you're not feeling 100%.
Well, I didn't have the congestion, so I knew I could pull it off. So it's just the throat.
Yeah.
So, hey,
Have some tea. Yeah.
You know what it's like when you have your own business. You don't get to take time off. Come on now.
Time off. What's that?
Well, we were supposed to do this on Monday, but I wasn't feeling good then, so I couldn't put it off again. So anyway, well, thank you, Jen.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
I appreciate you, and I appreciate Altenew, and I, you know that I love you all, and I'm glad you joined me. I'm glad you took the risk and joined us. It worked.
It was. And I'm telling you, nothing beats the questions popping up on the screen.
I know.
That was Mike behind the scenes over there?
That was Mike. Yeah.
Nice.
And maybe next time he can do like sound effects or
like animation.
I'm gonna have to challenge him. So I'm sorry we didn't get to look much at the questions on the side. When there's two people talking, it's kind of hard to do that. But I will definitely have Jen back in the future, and I'll make her do some card making for us too.
Oh, I'd love that. That would be so fun. Yay.
Awesome. All right. Well, thank you everyone for joining us. And in the description, I have all the info on the things we talked about. So I appreciate you joining us, and I'll see you again soon, hopefully for another live. Yes. So bye. Thanks, Jen. Love you.
Love you too.
There we go. Yay.